So in the real world, we've got these Scrum events, and people call them ceremonies. What do you do when you've got problems with them? Like they're not working right, or people aren't showing up, or we're using them completely incorrectly. How would you guys handle this? Greg, what are your thoughts?
Got to take space in either a retrospective or any time, frankly, to start to correct it. I think somebody has to call it out that there's a problem to begin with, though. If we are just saying they're problematic from one person's perspective, but the whole team isn't aware that it's a problem or agrees it's a problem, you're going to have very little buy-in to actually address it. That's so broad of a question. It might be easier to hone in on one particular event as an example. I think, and I'll start with sprint planning. It's the first event within a sprint. And if that goes off the rails, a lot of other things aren't going to work well either, all the way through a sprint review and a retrospective. So sprint planning, when it's problematic, likely we are not utilizing it for its purpose, and that is planning. There could be a lot of refinement baked into it. There could be the idea of just filling up a time box bucket to the max, but we aren't focused on goals and we aren't really doing what the sprint planning is for. So how do you address it? I think reboot to what is each event's purpose, and if there isn't an understanding at the team level, then we've got some conversation there. We need to maybe do some training. We may need to do a little more of a deep dive into its purpose so we can get it right.
That's fair.
What do you think?
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'll use a daily scrum as an example. I talk about this one a lot because I just see it go poorly so often. We can get caught up in the minutia of what are the right questions to ask, or should we go person by person, or walk the board, or how are we going to do this? But to your point, Greg, if we don't understand why we're here in the first place, the minutia of how we facilitate this thing probably doesn't matter as much. So reframing it on, and I think a retrospective is a great time to do this. Talk about it. Point it out in the retrospective. I think our daily scrums are broken. I think they're not very valuable. I think they need to be fixed. Great. Let's start with why are we here in the first place? We're not here just to simply walk the board or mechanically answer some 3 questions. We're here so we can inspect the progress towards our sprint goal and walk away with a plan for the day. Are we doing both of those things? If not, forget the structure of how we facilitate this for the minute and make sure we reframe on those. And then we can pick a structure that helps us do those things. So don't get lost in the details and focus on the why, I guess is what I'm saying. How about you, Rob?
Well, I hate being in meetings that are a waste of time. I think
Same.
everybody kind of does. And a lot of people will tolerate it. They'll just sit there and then talk about football, talk about whatever junk they did over the weekend, or, it's Halloween was yesterday, so talk about all the trick-or-treat candy they got. And if you're wasting your time in a meeting, those are hours that you're not spending solving problems or doing anything that you feel like you did something of value before you go home. So if you're in a meeting and you feel like it's a waste of time, you got to stop and say, do we need to do this? And if we do, why? Why are we here? And every Scrum event has a why behind it. If you don't know it, figure it out. You can easily go look it up in the Scrum Guide. If you've got a solid Scrum Master there, they can help you understand the why behind that event. And as soon as you feel like it's a waste of time, stop doing it or find out what you're doing wrong. The most common thing I see people having trouble with these Scrum events is just they don't know why they're there in the first place, and so they're not doing that why.
To start with the why. Sounds like a common theme.
Kind of does. Hey there. So if you're here and this is your first time and you're interested in growing in your agility and understanding things like Scrum and other Agile topics, then be sure to get started by hitting that subscribe button and also that bell. You're going to get notifications, and I don't want you to miss out on a thing.